Hello, I'm Elizabeth Conley from Interview Skills Clinic. Today I just want to talk to you a little bit more about civil service strength-based questions. Now, for those of you that are applying for the civil service in England are using success profiles in order to assess candidates. Now, for those of you who don't know, success profiles is a blended interview approach involving both behaviour questions and strength questions, plus technical skills and experience. Now, what this means is that for most interviews today, you are likely to be asked strength questions in the interview as well as behaviour questions. Now, strength questions are not what are your strengths. They are a particular style of question that is drawn from 36 strengths that the civil service have identified. Now, you can find that online by just literally typing in to Google Civil Service Strength Dictionary. When you look at the Strength Dictionary, there'll be 36 strengths with a description of each one. And then when you go to the back page, you will see which behaviour is associated with each strength. So, for example, if I get my copy out, I can see that, let me just go to the back here for you. Lots of different documents. So if I go to so basically it starts, how do we assess the strength? It goes through a strength dictionary. And then when you get to the very back, it'll say which strengths are mapped to which civil service behaviours. So if you're going to an interview and you're being asked for the behaviour working together, and somewhere within the job specification it says to you, under the civil service success profiles, we are going to be assessing you on behaviours and strengths, then you know you could be asked a strength-based question based on being a challenger, emotionally intelligent, inclusive, a negotiator, a networker, a relationship builder, or a team player. So you really need to think about those strengths and think about what you have done in your past experience, which would allow you to ask a question about that. So, for example, if it's a networker, you may be asked, does networking come naturally to you? And you would need to answer that with some evidence. So that's a really first step, is to get really familiar with success profiles with their strength dictionary. Now, to give you an idea of the type of questions that you can get asked, they have a particular sort of style. They're not competency-based, which are the behaviour ones, which say to you, can you give me an example of a time? Describe a time when you. So most of us are familiar with that because competency-based questions are asked, very broadly across the private and public sector interviews. But if you get asked a strength question, let me give you an idea of just what they might sound like. So if we were linked to managing a quality service, which is one of the behaviours, I might say to you, I can always be relied upon to help others. How true is that of you? Okay, so again, very different. And that would tie in really with the strength of service. So that's a service one. If we look at maybe the behaviour delivering at pace, if I look at one of the strengths under delivering at pace, I'm going to look at personal responsibility, I might say to you, do you enjoy having personal responsibility for getting things done? Or how do you feel if you miss a deadline? Or I might even say to you, when you have a plan and you have to change it, how do you feel about it? Now, for delivering at pace, there's also the strength reconfiguration. So people strong in reconfiguration can basically juggle things. They can cope with lots of different changing demands at any one time. So I might say to you as a strength question, would others describe you as being adaptable? Now, what you've got to be careful of is all these questions, unlike behaviour and competency questions, which aren't leading questions, a lot of strength questions do sound as if they're leading you. So it's very, very easy when somebody says to you, would other people describe you as adaptable? To say, oh, yes. Are you good? Are you a naturally good networker? Oh, yes. But it's really important to be authentic. There actually isn't a right or wrong answer. And it's about being able to demonstrate that you've got that strength, not just to answer positively. So just be a little bit careful with that. I'll give you one more, which is making effective decisions. Very common behaviour in the civil service interviews. If we look at the strength of judgment, I might say to you, are your judgments more often proved to be right? And you would need to answer that and say, yes, I think on the whole they are, and why I think that. And let me give you an example of why I think that. So I hope that's really helpful and given you just a flavour of what strength questions are. Please read you'll find it helpful if you read the full post that I provide a link to in the description below. And of course, if you want a little bit of help and feel as though you need a mock interview to help you with strength-based questions, then please, you can book a free consultation from our website and organise some coaching. Website is interviewskillsclinic.co.uk.